Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
The Vietnam War was a protracted conflict that took place from 1955 to 1975. It was a complex and contentious war with significant historical, political, and social implications. Here's a detailed overview. Background: colonial history. Vietnam had a long history of foreign occupation, including French colonial rule from the mid-19th century until World War. First Indochina War 1946 to 1954. After World War II, Vietnamese nationalists, led by the communist forces of Ho Chi Minh, fought against French colonial forces in the First Indochina War. The conflict ended with the 1954 Geneva Accords, which temporarily divided Vietnam along the 17th parallel. The Vietnam War, origins 1955-1960. Vietnam was divided into North Vietnam Communist and South Vietnam Anti-Communist. The United States supported South Vietnam, providing financial aid, military advisors, and equipment. The North, backed by the Soviet Union and China, aimed to reunify the country under communist rule. Escalation 1961-1965. President Kennedy -1 U.S. involvement with military advisors. The Gulf of Tonkin incident in 1964 led to Congress passing the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which gave President Johnson broad powers to escalate military involvement. Full-scale war 1965-1973. U.S. troop levels in Vietnam surged to over 500,000. The war saw intense fighting, including the Tet Offensive in 1968. It was marked by guerrilla warfare and a determined North Vietnamese army. The U.S. employed tactics like chemical defoliants, Agent Orange, and bombing campaigns. Anti-war movement. The war sparked massive protests and opposition in the U.S., including the famous Kent State shootings in 1970. The anti-war movement played a role in shaping public opinion. End of U.S. involvement 1973. The Paris Peace Accords were signed in 1973, leading to a ceasefire and withdrawal of U.S. troops. Fighting continued between North and South Vietnam. Fall of Saigon 1975. In April 1975, North Vietnamese forces captured Saigon, leading to the reunification of Vietnam under communist control. Aftermath: Vietnam was reunified as the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. The war caused immense human suffering, with millions of deaths and widespread destruction. It had lasting impacts on U.S. politics and society. The war strained U.S. relations with other countries, including the Soviet Union and China. Vietnam experienced economic hardships but later pursued economic reforms and opened up to the global economy. This is a broad overview of the Vietnam War. It's a deeply complex and multifaceted conflict with many more details, events, and consequences than can be covered here. If you have specific questions or want more information on particular aspects, please feel free to ask.